The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Real Doctor Who fans with real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast, a podcast dedicated to discussing and reviewing all things Doctor Who, Big Finish, and other science fiction stuff that tickle our fancy. In today's episode, I, myself, Brett, will be looking at various things across the Whoniverse. I will be looking at an article about Radio Times about bosses, jaws, and gasps and whatnot. I also look at, for some reason, somebody had a excuse-a-thon for why the most recent series of RTD Part 2 did not do well as looking at a surface area look at the war between the land and the sea, because according to at least what I saw, it should be coming out today, the day that I record this, December 7th. So, that being said, please contact us, reach out, hit the bell for notifications if you're watching on YouTube, email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. That is ALHAMBRA audio@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. All right, well, without further ado, I'm going to start off with this interesting article that I found. I believe it is called, it is on winteriscoming.net. So most likely Game of Thrones heavy at one point in time. But they have this weird article about Doctor Who's Disney deal ending sets up the return for an exciting BBC blueprint next season, or whenever that is. And I found it quite interesting and odd because they, lay out the thing that, BBC, Doctor Who has a very promising future going forward, even though the Disney and BBC deal is now dead. The show is going to go on hiatus, even though there is going to be one 2026 Christmas special coming out, which hopefully will explain everything. Because, again, there was the other article that came out not that long ago about, Robert Sherman, who was just like, it's never been dead or ever. But when you actually peel back the layers regarding that article, it's just like, well, yeah, because even in the wilderness years, you had Sylvester McCoy's Doctor that you could do stuff with the Virgin New Adventures. You even could have they had the Missing Adventures or whatnot. Then you had the BBC book range. What can you do with Billie Piper right now? Because there's so much stuff that is unknown. And so the only thing that you could do is write books or whatnot for previous Doctors. Now, it looks like they're trying to do that with Ncuti Gatwa and Miranda Sethu's, whatever her name is. Name escapes me because the seasons were not that great and easily forgettable. However, you do have this situation where now you're pigeonholing what happened in RTD's Part 2, Season 2, Series, 15, Season 41 or whatnot. And it's not going to make much sense because you have only a small finite gate space in which you could do stuff, similar to Chris Chibnall. I mean, everything was just so, done together with an entire arc. There was no fun discovery time for the most part. I mean, you could say here and there it was, but the only one that I could think of is the barbershop one, and the barbershop one, I will tell you, I rewatched that the other day, and it is not written well. I know Liam really likes the barbershop one. I do not think it is written well. I don't think it was actually written as a cohesive Doctor Who story. I believe it was written as a mostly focused on the Doctor and his current skin color and race, and almost as if it has been his entire identity the entire time. I think, if that's what the character was always, then fine or whatnot. But he's always been an alien. He's always been on the outskirts. Even though he did look similar to many people in UNIT or whatnot, he was always the outsider looking in or not wanting to be in. And then you had that episode, which almost, makes you wonder, if RTD actually ever watched the show. The first run of RTD would show that he did, but then when you peel back the layers even more, you could see that the stronger episodes were the ones that were not written by him. So I think that is quite interesting when you, again, look at all that. Anyway, this article on Winter is Coming not only wants to excuse that, everything is going to be better because BBC, the Doctor Who, is in BBC's hands once again, but also one of the excuses is the main reason why the Ncuti Gatwa's era was hurt so much is because of the amount of money that they were spending per episode. They had to shorten the length of the seasons to only 8 episodes at a time, which hurt the show. Not to say that, near the very end of Stephen Moffat's run, I believe we had 10 episodes with Bill, and then Chris Chibnall episodes. I believe the first season we had, was it 11? Maybe. And then I think the next one was 12. And then we have the, forgettable or unforgettable Flux 6-part series or whatnot. So it's one of those, try grasping at straws, guys, because, the facts don't fit your feelings about why the Ncuti Gatwa era was not received well. I think it all goes into storytelling. At the end of the day, I don't think that season 1, season 2 of RTD Part 2 was written relatively strong. And I would even say that, the storytelling started coming undone quality-wise around the end of Matt Smith pre Peter Capaldi, which is a shame because Peter Capaldi is a fantastic Doctor, but I don't think he had many great scripts. You could say maybe Jodie Whittaker had the same thing. Maybe Ncuti Gatwa had the same thing. The storytelling has just gone off the reservation. And I think, Liam sent me a thing to watch at one point in time. I'm going to get around to watching it eventually. But it was criticizing and discussing Big Finish or whatnot. And that's one of the things that I do find at least refreshing about Big Finish is they have been able to, not meander here and there and get a little bit too... they're focused on the story itself and it being plot driven by the story, not, what is it? I as I pull up the IMDb for The War Between the Land and the Sea, the episode synopsis for episode 2 is Plastic Apocalypse. Okay, I will tell you, I don't want to watch a show like that. Yes, I do. Do I understand that there's an issue? Yes, I do. Do I want to watch a show in the Doctor Who universe that talks all about this, plastic thing or whatnot? Or do I just want to be lost in a war between the Homo Aqua? That is so stupid. Between the Sea Devils and the human beings. Yes, that's what I want. I do not want, a lecture. I want escapism. That's what I want. If you cannot deliver that, I'm not watching it. I even picked up Disney Plus for $5 a month for the rest of whatever on Black Friday deal. Watching it on my computer with my ad blockers completely eliminates all the commercials. It is fantastic. It's almost like having the commercial-free edition. Eventually, they'll figure out a way to rectify the situation. But anyway, I don't think that what this Winter's Coming website is selling makes a whole lot of sense. I think when we trace back the poorness, the reception of Doctor Who. And there's going to be a podcast special that I am very excited for. I've been working on it. I heard a terminology and I just deep dove into the entire thing. I'm very excited for that. Stay tuned for up and coming episodes of the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Also, go back to some of the older ones. Give us some feedback. email, tweet the show, whatever. Love to hear from you. Anyway, that being said, I'm going to move on from that to this Radio Times article that came out on the 6th of December, revolving around Doctor Who boss says plans for 2026 Christmas special left BBC bosses with jaws agape, a gasp. The next episode is still a year away, but Russell T Davies has already teased a jaw-dropping special as the Whoniverse expands. Oh dear. Is that meaning that there are going to be further ones, or are we talking about they're talking about the war between the land and the sea. Gotcha. All right. And then, of course, this Radio Times is like, not only is this happening on this whatever, but we have the Channel 4 drama Tiptoe that is also coming out. All right, whatever. It says, in a new interview with BBC Newsbeat, Davies reiterates that the Doctor Who production team haven't started work on the special yet, quipping, "I know what happens, but I better write it down soon in case I get run over by a bus." So this entire Christmas special, he's excited about, he's pitched or whatnot, but it currently only lives within the brain of Russell T Davies. The article continues and says he did, however, confirm the plot details have been shared with BBC bosses, and apparently what's to come left them with jaws agape, loving it. Now, I want to, I see you, and I want to meet you with some skepticism, because the war between the land and the sea has been compared to, and we haven't yet watched it yet, but has been compared to the Children of Earth season 3 from Torchwood, which Children of Earth is the best season of all of Torchwood. You had 1 or 2 episodes in the first season, okay. 1 or 2 episodes in the second season, okay. I did not like Captain John whatsoever. I was very excited for that to move on. Children of Earth, probably very good. But for some reason, it's compared to that being is equally as great as the war between the land versus the sea. And, some people so I'm doing some research, and some people are out there on Reddit and some other stuff saying, I'd expect them to say that line, but it's weird because saying I'm immensely proud of it and think it's absolutely brilliant, it's like, I had a good idea, emphasis on mine, or my good idea. And a lot of people are like, I'm having trouble believing RTD at the time. He is not neutral in mind. Of course, you do have others that, this was me with the series of The Flux, is I'm trying to keep an open mind. So I'm so over this Avenger light iteration of Unit. But I am trying to find it difficult. And so then you have, I think we all are under the understanding of RTD's wild exaggerations. And somebody goes, "It's brilliant, it's lovely, it's magnificent, it's Doctor Who." And, quoting, basically what, how he looks at everything. Some people's excitement level regarding around the war between the land and the sea is my excitement level went from 0 to having heard RTD's thoughts on it to 0. Others say I'm not going in with high expectations after the recent finale. If this is what is going to be more adult-like regarding, Children of the Earth, then I'd probably be more excited. But sometimes it feels like there's a lot of marketing trying to tell us how great things are going to be rather than just making something great. And I think that is where a lot of us are struggling with RTD, is we're being told that this is great, but it's not made to be great. We're just told that it is. And I think that is really having people, fans and whatnot, really struggling with things. Some say that, at least someone is trying to sell it to me. I've never seen a show so downplayed before in my life. Why even make it if this is the attitude towards it? Interesting thing. All right. So that is just some of the things that people are saying on Reddit and forums. And yeah, I'm revolving around that. Davies, continuing on about the up-and-coming Christmas special, though, says, recently shared a few cryptic clues with Doctor Who magazine, writing in his latest column that the 2026 Christmas episode will feature words like bafflers and Winternox and village. The last season of Doctor Who ended with a surprise twist, bringing Ncuti Gatwa's time as the Doctor to a dramatic close. In the closing moments, the Doctor began to regenerate, only for his new incarnation to be revealed the shock-returning face of Billie Piper. Her brief appearance left fans stunned. I would say that. And set the Whoniverse buzzing with speculations. No, it didn't. It set the Whoniverse buzzing with annoyance. That's what it did. The 5-part series shifts the focus away from Doctor and Unit and establishing a global crisis as an ancient race of the oceans resurfaces, threatening humans with open conflict. So, I mean, and then you have the stupid thing about renaming them, that Sea Devils are racist or whatnot. And then, fun fact for those of you that already obviously know, Sea Devils have been redesigned 3 times. They were brought back in The Legend of Sea Devils in 2022, which actually were a lot closer to the original design from the original 1972 The Sea Devils episodes. They got a samurai redesign in Warrior of the Deep, and now we can't even say the word Sea Devils because according to RTD, this is now racist for some reason. Like I said, I got the Disney Plus $5 for a month for the next year. I did not get it to watch this at all. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with this show going forward. But I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Are you excited for this? Should I do any reviews of this episode or any of these episodes? Please feel free to hit me up on the email, on Twitter. Again, the email is at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. The tweet handle is at Alhambra Podcast. DMs, of course, are open. Please stay tuned for upcoming podcasts where we will discuss more things about Doctor Who and all the fun within the Whoniverse. And until next time, I will see you in time.
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.